I remember this guy lived on the 3rd floor and needed some help to move. He had no AC, and he had fans in the window, and he just wanted an opportunity. This guy here was, hot ass mess. Brian was sleeping on his parents' basement, and Neil was just nice looking, so he didn't have to do much. It worked for him. But all these guys have a great story. I want to pass the mic down. I have a few things to say. I want to welcome you guys to the TMG Hall of Fame. Way to go, guys.
Thank you. I really wasn't prepared for this. I forget a lot of things, so apparently my wife tells me that a lot, so I wrote it down. Let's do it. So, but I want to make this a little interactive for you guys, so are you all right with a little bit of participation? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. So, every time I make this gesture, I just need you to say thank you. All right, so let's practice real quick.
Thank you.
All right, let's do that a little one more time.
Thank you.
All right, that was better. So awesome. Well, we're going to start with a thank you. We're going to end with a thank you. So,
Thank you.
to McKeesport Charter School for firing me from my first teaching job. I couldn't handle the kids, and I'm like, man, this is not what I thought it was, and I was out. So thank you, McKeesport Charter School.
Thank you.
Computer Care Learning Center for cutting my hours in half, making $12 an hour, 15 hours a week. Doesn't pay the bills even if you live in Wilkinsburg. All right. At the time, it was tough. One more time, you ready?
Thank you.
Diane Russlander. Some of that's a class from the past, right? So thank you for telling me as I'm spending money on a course, trying to get my insurance license, and she says, you really should keep your day job. So not only did I want to prove to myself that I could do this, but I also wanted to prove her wrong.
Thank you.
For my parents for recommending me not to do this, because it was commission only, and they thought I was crazy doing it. But also, thank you to them for, once I did make my decision, they did support me.
Thank you.
For my mom, she knew I was in a tough spot before I started, and said, how you doing, Dan? I said, I'm doing great. She goes, no, financially. I said, I got 1 month left to rent. And that's about it. She's like, well, you ain't moving back here. So I'm going to give you some money. And I'm like, Mom, we don't really have it, because she's on a fixed income as well. And so she found it, got it together, and did it on her own, and just put it in my bank account, $2,000. And that kept me going. It was my business loan. And I paid her back in 3 months. So I also, her and my dad years ago started a business, so she knew when you start a business, you need a little bit of capital sometimes. So I was stubborn, didn't want to accept it at all. I was like, don't do it, but she did it, and I was like, all right, thanks.
Thank you.
To the Edgewood Library, because of their internet and their printer. I didn't have either one of those. So I would go there all the time to print off my leads and my service reports and all that stuff, and paying my bills online, and that's I didn't have that in my luxury apartment.
Thank you.
To Ryan and Troy for coming into my life at the right time, for providing a path and a purpose to work towards, and also thank you for taking thousands of my calls in the first year. So thank you for that, and also led me into the lives of leaders Jeremy Boone and Barry Tauscher. So thank you for that as well.
Thank you.
Bahamas for introducing me to my wife, right over there, on a TMG trip back in 2011. I didn't get any. All right.
Thank you.
Maria, for always being there, always believing in me, and to provide that outside perspective, on the business. Because sometimes on the inside looking out, you can't really see clearly. So thank you for providing that clarity. And also thank you for holding down the fort. So when I'm away on business travel, she manages the house and the kids and like a boss and gets it done. And even when I'm, out in the field training agents and coming home at 11 o'clock at night, I couldn't do it without you.
Maria. Thank you.
To my daughter Emma and my son Santiago, who will be 1 in a couple weeks, which is exciting, and for motivating me to be the best dad, and also just to provide the best life possible for you guys. You see, every one of us in this room has someone, something to be grateful for, to be thankful for. And every day that we go out there in the field, we come across a lot of people that are less fortunate than us. Folks that were once successful that are now subjected to being on disability, and they can't work even though they want to because of an illness or an injury. Folks hook up the oxygen tanks. And so they're in sometimes a lot worse situations than us. So when you feel like complaining, when you feel like making excuses, when you feel like you have no idea how you're going to pay your bills, when you have negative people in your ear that are doubting you, when you feel you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, just remember that there's so many people in this world that would love to be in this room. There's so many people in this world that would love to be in your shoes. And not just your shoes, but in your seat, sitting where you are right now. So when these thoughts start crossing your mind, just simply say to yourself,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.